Hi everyone, Harris here with iDownload Blog, and this is the ZAGG keyboard case for the iPad Pro 12.9 and the iPad Pro 11. It's a detachable, non-smart connector Bluetooth keyboard case for your iPad Pro, and it gives it an incredible typing experience, but does come at some other sacrifices over something like Apple's keyboard cover, but of course costs less than Apple's offerings. Here are the things that I like and dislike. Okay, so the things that I like. So the keyboard itself is excellent, and you can hear how nice this sounds. That is super clicky and tactile. It's a very plasticky feel and sound, and it reminds me a lot of a mechanical keyboard. I can imagine this being an issue in my dorm room because I could keep my roommate up with the sound of the clicking, but it's much better than the feedback on Apple's keyboard case, which is soft and muted. This is pronounced and clicky and comfortable, and the keys are spacious, and I can type very quickly on this, and I really like the typing experience on this keyboard. It comes in 7 backlighting colors, which I personally don't need more than just a white color, but for some people that will be a pro, and it comes in 3 brightnesses, so this solves the issue of backlighting on Apple's keyboard. And then there is the function row up top, which I love function rows. They're so handy, but in terms of function rows, this isn't one that I particularly love. So there's a home button on this function row, which closes your app, but there's also a multitasking button. I don't think the multitasking button is very useful when you can just double click the home button. Additionally, there is a globe icon, which will change your keyboard in source, and then a keyboard button, which will just bring up the keyboard. I think that could also be combined into one key. And the reason I complain about these is simply just because there's no brightness control on this function row. There's media, there's volume, but there's no brightness. And I would really just like to see a brightness control on here because that is something that I change a lot. Okay, so brightness controls aren't on the function row, not the end of the world. It's still nice that there is a function row, and there are actually 2 Bluetooth options, so you can have it paired to your iPad and then paired to another device. And I'm actually controlling my iPad as we speak right now. I'm adding to the notes, which you can see, they are not connected, and they actually just attach via a magnet. Now that's something I don't love because, as you can see, if I do that, it's not this most sturdy thing. It doesn't take much force to get this to disconnect. Again, that's really not the end of the world, but I would like to see a more secure magnet in here because when I'm moving it around, it falls off. So a more secure magnet would definitely be appreciated with this contraption. But there's a lot of bulk on this case, which I don't like. Now, part of that is you get an additional Apple Pencil holder. So you have the Apple Pencil up top, which is nice, and it's reinforced, and I'm not really concerned about it falling off. But at the bottom, there's also another Apple Pencil holder, but I don't really get the point of this. It will keep it more secure for traveling, and I don't really think I need more protection when the case already overlaps and protects the pencil. I think it just takes up extra width at the bottom of your iPad, which makes it feel a lot bigger. Additionally, on the keyboard case itself, there's a lot of palm rest area, which is very comfortable. It's soft and smooth, but again, if they could eliminate some of this and make this device feel smaller, I would really appreciate that, because currently it takes this super futuristic 11-inch iPad and makes it feel a bit like a 13-inch laptop, and the 12.9-inch iPad begins to feel like a 15-inch laptop with the dimension all around the sides that this keyboard adds. It's not particularly thick, and I don't really mind the thickness of this case, but it adds a lot of width and dimension everywhere else. And then the kickstand on the back. So in order to use this, you have to pull down the kickstand, and it's just a physical, manual, kind of rigid plate that keeps your iPad up. And that's okay, but the thing is, I broke this on my other iPad immediately, and I snapped it off because I pulled it down too far onto one side. It was too much pressure, and it just snapped off. So every time I'm opening this, I just have to be cautious to pull it down in the middle. It is nice because it allows you to open it at any angle. It's not a foolproof method. It isn't relying on magnets or anything super safe like that. There is the risk that it breaks, and I would like a different contraption for keeping it up. Now, this does charge via USB-C, which is nice, so whenever you're charging your iPad, if this is running low, which it will not do very often, you can always just throw the charger into the keyboard and you'll be good to go. Not really an issue. And then the only other issue I have is that when you have this connected, you can see just how wide of a rig this is between the keyboard stand going back and how long this keyboard is. This takes up a lot of desk real estate, and it was really a shock for me when I went from using Apple's keyboard case to using this, how much more desk space it took. I understand this offers a lot more protection and has some additional features, but just overall it took up a lot more desk space, and I don't love it because of that. So do I still recommend this keyboard case? Absolutely. I love the typing experience, and it's not that thick, but I wish they would make the palm rest and some of the design a bit smaller so that this case wouldn't be so big dimensionally. It wouldn't be so wide and feel like a 13-inch tablet. And I wouldn't mind if they redesigned the stand and if they redesigned the function row to add brightness controls. Just 2 buttons, you can get rid of this 2 that I mentioned earlier. But outside of that, this is a very good option. I'm excited to test out other iPad Pro keyboard cases. Hopefully we'll get those sent out so I can review them. But for the time being, this is a good option if you know what you're getting yourself into. And I love the typing experience on this keyboard. Alright, I'll leave links to the 11 and 12.9 inch version in the description if you want to check them out. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.